Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the most trendy hair color right now. So oftentimes in the salon I would get asked what's like the trending color, what should I get done? And I feel like it's always kind of been, a mix of different things to kind of suit different personalities, which I love. But I do feel like this year there is a surge of a very specific color that's been trending. Basically what I think it is more just a tone down of the colors that were previously in. So basically like a contrasted balayage or kind of like brighter pops of color. It's all about kind of muting everything down. Now that's not to say that if you're brunette you can't achieve this look. I'm just saying that I think this is how the trend kind of started. And trends in clothing, fashion, and hair and beauty tend to kind of go with the current lifestyle. And I think with the last year's lockdown and just more loungewear and comfortable clothing kind of coming into more of an everyday kind of wear, hair as well as kind of match that. So at the beginning of the year when I did a trends for the year video, I did mention these a little bit, but because they are so popular, I figured I would do a dedicated video, not only kind of dissecting what it is so you fully understand the look, but also explaining how you can get there. So whether you're starting off as brunette or starting off as a blonde, I will be sharing specific formulas that you can do to achieve this look. So I just touched on how I think this kind of look has evolved and become what it is now, but I also think it's hugely 70s influence, which nobody asked, but it's my absolute favorite era. And it kind of pains me when people think of the 70s as this very tacky, hippie, super colorful era. And to me, I think more muted tones, really sandy, long hair. And again, whether brunette or blonde, it is very muted and just sandy. It's definitely more on the warmer side, which is definitely something we touched on at the beginning of the year, stating that that was a big trend this year. I still think warm colors are still making a huge impact, but it's about adding warmth to your current color and just slightly muting it down. So to me, that is super 70s. So anyway, let's just get into what you're here for. A breakdown of how you can achieve this look. So if you're starting off pretty solid brunette, or maybe you have a little bit of highlights or a little bit of balayage in there, but for the most part, you're pretty predominantly dark, the first step would be to add a very minimal yet effective pop of baby lights. I have a video on how to do that exactly, so I will leave a link below. But the easier part for this is that you don't have to lift your hair very much. So even with a brunette starting point, 10 volume is all you would need, because all you're doing is really trying to lift 1 to 2 levels. So doing a very light baby light with 10 volume, leaving the product on your hair for about 40 to 45 minutes. With the 10 volume, this should be very minimally invasive, meaning it should cause little to no damage on the hair. Once this is processed, it doesn't matter if it hasn't brightened up too much or if there's a ton of warmth still present. The next step is going to be the all-over toner. This is what you're going to tone/stain your new baby lights with. So a great toner for a brunette with a light baby light would be a mixture of 1 ounce of 7NB Shades EQ, 1 ounce of 8N Shades EQ, and then mix that with 2 ounces of processing solution. So you will just apply that all over the hair. Go ahead and massage it through your hair, making sure to evenly saturate the hair. You're gonna let this process for about 20 minutes, and then shampoo and condition your hair as usual. You should be left with this slight shimmer of a sun-kissed kind of pops of brightness to your hair while still staying brunette. And this is definitely the step that takes a little bit more work because you are lifting and then toning. Now moving on to the other starting color point, which is blonde. This step is going to be a little bit easier because you're already light. So here, all you're doing is trying to bring that brightness down. So all you're gonna be doing is an all-over toner. And again, you're gonna be toning down, but also adding a little bit of warmth in. So when you're starting off with blonde and you're wanting to go darker, even if it's just 1 to 2 levels, it's always important to add a little bit of warmth, even if you're looking to stay pretty neutral. And the reason for that is because you're starting on such a bright canvas that if you just add straight neutrals or straight ash tones, you're gonna be left looking pretty green or even like bluish. So it's always important to add any warmth anyway, but for this look, we're celebrating the warmth. So a great formulation for blondes would be 1 ounce of 8GI, 1 ounce of 9NB, and mix that with 2 ounces of processing solution. Same thing, you're just going to apply all over the hair. Now, for blondes, if you want to create a little bit of a gradient or a little bit slightly darker look kind of at the root, what I recommend is applying first to the first 1 or 2 inches of the hair and apply just to the roots and leave the remainder of the hair. Make sure that those roots process fully, the full 15 to 20 minutes. Once that's processed, then you can take the remainder of the toner and work it through the ends. So what that's going to create is a little bit of a gradient kind of at the root because the roots have processed a little bit longer than the rest of the hair. It's essentially doing a very mild root smudge with the exact same formulation and using time to give you that slight color difference. And then processing the mid-lengths to the ends an additional 15 minutes. Then you're able to shampoo and condition and you should be left this beautiful, warm, sandy blonde. I personally want to warm up and tone down my blonde a little bit too. And if I end up doing that, of course, I'll show you guys the process. But honestly, this is one of those processes that I think is just so simple that I figured I would just come on and share these formulas with you instead of waiting for myself to do it first. The other amazing thing about this is that you are basically adding color or darkening the hair with a semi-permanent toning gloss. What that means is, say in 6 months you change your mind and you want to go lighter, you can absolutely do so with very minimal effort or damage on the hair. Anytime a client wants to go from light to dark, I always recommend doing it first with a semi-permanent color. I always tell the client, if you're back to redarken it, then we can revisit the idea and then go more permanent. But the fact that we have products that we can kind of play around with our hair without risking further damage later on, why not take advantage of that? All right, guys, and that is it for this video. I wanted to keep it short, sweet, and to the point so that you can jump into summer with a beautiful, up-to-date color. All right, guys, I hope this video was helpful. If you're looking to change up your look just a tad, but do something fun, I highly recommend you try this out. As always, thank you for clicking on my videos. Thank you for your continued support. I love you guys, and I will see you back here next week with more hair fun. Bye.